Welcome in today, faithful. Drew Kerr, 49ers Sports Talk. It's Tuesday, April 16th, and today I will be providing you with 5 players that have a realistic chance at becoming 49ers within rounds 3 to 7. So the very first player that I want to talk about is a player from Utah. It's a safety. His name is Sione Vaki. He did have a top 30 visit with the 49ers, and he also had a private workout per 49ers web zone. So that's pretty interesting to me. I think that they're still trying to create some depth behind Hufanga and Jair Brown. This guy, Vaki, reminds me a little bit of Hufanga. He's just tenacious, and he has a knack for getting to the ball, knowing where the ball is going to be. I think he has a high football intellect. I don't think he's as athletic as Hufanga, so he might be a little bit perceived as like a poor man's Hufanga. So I think that he has a real opportunity, though, to back him up and be a vital piece on special teams if the Niners do draft him. It's pretty interesting that they had 2 visits. I'm going to go over some of his strengths. He's a productive tackler with a nose for the ball, like I said, on coverage teams. He works with his eyes from the quarterback to the route as a split safety. He has heavy hands to send a jarring punch into blockers that are trying to block him. So he's able to shed and move off those blocks pretty well. He comes to balance and makes himself as wide open. He makes himself wide as open field tackler. He's patient to launch tackles. He tries only when he has a target locked in. So he doesn't like really overrun the ball a whole lot. But when he is honed in on a target, he definitely launches himself. And he can make some plays, and he's knocked the ball out a couple times. He played 2 seasons at Utah. He had 92 total tackles in his career, 12 for tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 1 interception, 5 passes defensed, and I think he's a good fit. He seems like a Niner, and the Niners have had two separate interactions with him, including the top 30 visits. So we'll see, but he would probably be a 6th rounder, 7th rounder, definitely a day 3 pick. So keep an eye out for this guy, Sione Vaki. Okay, and before moving on to the next player, I did want to mention that Draft Tech did have Vaki ranked 156th overall and the 13th best safety. The next player that I think that the Niners have some true interest in is DeCamerion Richardson out of Mississippi State. He's a cornerback, a little bit taller, 6'2", a little bit more physical. Draft Tech ranks him as the 14th best cornerback and 96 overall ranked prospect. So he has like a 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th round grade on him. His career sacks, he did play 4 seasons in college. He had 177 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 10 passes defensed, and 1 fumble recovery. Jumping into his strengths, exceptional size and length for the position. He makes it tough to create catch space on 50-50 throws. He ramps up the recovery burst and closes the distance when he does lose a little bit of ground. He works at containing position against run blocks, so he's very smart and knows where the play is going and leverages his position to block running backs in, or if there's a jet sweep coming, he's really keen to be able to get in there and get in the mix and make a play. And he rarely loses his grip on a tackle once he sinks it in. I think that the Niners view Yadam and now Rock Ya-Sin as potential guys to compete for that cornerback 3. But if there is a guy that's drafted late, I mean, the Niners hit on 5th rounders all the time. So if they get a 5th round corner, who's to say that guy doesn't step up and just shine so bright that the Niners are forced to put him in? At any case, I will jump on to the next player. All right, guys, moving on to my third player, my third draft gem. It's gonna be Christian Haynes from UConn, offensive lineman. The Niners did meet with him, but the extent of the type of meeting that they've had with him isn't really, it's unknown. So not really sure if they did a Zoom meeting or if they met with him in person. The details on that, I couldn't really find it, so sorry about that, but they did meet with him. Draft Tech has him listed as their number 1 overall guard, but a lot of the national media has him a lot lower than that. His overall rank with Draft Tech is 56th, but he projects to be a little bit more of a 3rd or 4th rounder with guards like Mahogany, BB, Zinter, Pooney, possibly ahead of him. So he did have 5 seasons with UConn, and some of his strengths are he has 4 years of starting experience and possesses a high football IQ, compact and powerful through his upper body. He understands angles and accelerates through his targets. He gets into blocks with a strong desire to move and finish his opponent. Pass sets with good posture and stays square to the action. Moves feet to catch counters and twist at either gap. And one other thing just to add, he is very feisty, as you can kind of see here in these videos. He's scrappy. He has a scrappy demeanor. He doesn't back down from anybody, and he's just fundamentally sound as well. So just love the combination of his ferocity and discipline. I think that's a great combination for an offensive lineman. And just wanted to touch on some of his accolades. In 2022 and 2023, the Associated Press named him All-American Third Team. 2023 College Football Network All-American Third Team. 2022 Sporting News All-American Second Team. All right, fourth player is Marshon Neal out of Western Michigan. He is an edge guy. He did participate in the Senior Bowl, and the Niners have had him in for a top 30 visit. Draft Tech has him as their 7th best edge rusher at 64th overall. This guy could go as early as the second round. I could see that, so it's kind of a stretch to say that he's a late round gem because he could go in the second or third, but he also could go in the third and fourth. Just matters like how NFL teams view him. I have seen him projected a lot in the third and fourth, which is why I selected him as a draft gem. He's picking up a little bit steam as the closer we get to the draft next week. And, so it would not shock me to see him go a little bit earlier. If he does slip to day 3, he would be an absolute steal for somebody. His career stats, he did play 4 seasons at Western Michigan, 149 tackles, 28 tackles for loss, 12.5 sacks, 3 passes defensed, and 3 forced fumbles. We'll go through his strengths here a little bit. He runs well and possesses agility to fluidity change directions. Plays with very heavy hands and makes his first hit count. Motor stays engaged the entire time. He's a high motor guy, plays through the whistle, and he's down to chase players all over the field. He sifts through moving bodies and latches into running backs with good wrap. He's very good at playing the gaps too. He generates consistent pocket push with his bull rush. He does have a very strong bull rush. He's capable of playing with hand down or standing up. So he could either, kind of be a Chase Young type player or put his hand down. He's used to both. Whatever Staley and Sorensen ask him to do, he's going to be capable of, and more importantly, Chris Kosarek. I think this guy would be a phenomenal player, and he would fit in very well. If the Niners don't go with somebody like Chop Robinson or something like that in the first, obviously if they get somebody like that in the first or even second, it's highly unlikely that this guy will be a Niner. But I do think that if they can get him for good value, they should pull the trigger, and they did meet with him. So I think that bodes well for his potential of becoming a 49er. Last but not least, guys, one of my favorite players in this draft is Trey Wallace out of Kentucky, a linebacker who is a little bit larger. He's 6'2", but he doesn't move as big as he is. He moves like a safety or a cornerback. This guy is sideline to sideline. Niners have had a top visit with him as well, and he's definitely my favorite linebacker in the draft. Some others have like Gray, and I don't know. I think Gray's good, but this guy I think is got that. He's got the same vigor as like Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. He's got that same tenacity, that same hunger, that same just fly to the ball at any means. Doesn't care if he gets hit. Trying to chase the ball down. He's just a ferocious linebacker. And Draft Tech had him ranked as 131st overall and as their 5th best linebacker. He did play 3 seasons in Kentucky, 166 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 10 sacks, 3 picks, 1 pass defense, and 2 forced fumbles. Here's a look at his strengths. He's an explosive athlete, rangy with good chase down, gallop to the sideline, burst and change of direction make him a toolsy rusher. Hands are very sticky when he gets his chance to take the ball away. Lateral agility to expand his short area tackle success. But if you kind of sit here and take a look at some of this video here, you can say a bunch of words, but his tape kind of speaks for itself, and he is not afraid. He's going to fit in the NFL, and somebody's going to get themselves a damn good linebacker. As a quick recap, I'm just going to look at really quickly here each one of their draft grades, the combine grades rather. So starting with Vaki, he's out of Antioch, California. He is a California guy, 5'11", 210. His prospect grade was 5.68. Production score 62, athleticism score 70, total score 65. He ran a 4.62, a little bit slower than Hufanga in the 40-yard dash. 10-yard split was 1.54, a little bit better there. 39.5 vertical jump. He does got a little bit of hops. Broad jump 10.5, and he did 20 on the bench press. To Camryon Richardson out of Mississippi State. He comes from Colon, Louisiana. He was a senior, 6'2", 188. His prospect grade was 5.94. That puts him in the category of good, 71. Production score was 59, 39th out of all the cornerbacks. Athleticism score 88, total score 71. 40-yard dash, he was extremely fast, 4.34. 10-yard split was 1.48, blazing. Vertical jump 35, broad jump 10.8. Christian Haynes out of Connecticut. From Bowie, Maryland. He was a senior, 6'3", 317 pounds. 6.27 was his prospect grade. They project him as an average starter, 78 good. Production score 74, athleticism score 77, total score 78. He got a 5.03 in the 40-yard dash, so the guy can run for how big he is. 10-yard split 1.75, vertical jump of 33 inches, broad jump 8.5, bench press 25 reps. Marshon Neal out of Western Michigan is from Grand Rapids, Michigan. He was also a senior, 6'3" in height, 267. His prospect grade was 6.1674, is good score for next-gen stats. Production score is 66, athleticism score of 88, total score 74. His 40-yard dash was 4.75, 10-yard split of 1.66, vertical jump of 35.5, broad jump at 9.11. His 3-cone drill was 7.02, 20-yard shuttle 4.18, and he did 21 in the bench press. Out of Kentucky, his hometown is Jessup, Georgia. He was a junior at Kentucky. He's leaving a little bit early. Height is 6'1", weight is 237. That's about the same size as Dre Greenlaw, actually. Prospect grade of 5.83. His production score was 70, athleticism score of 86, total score of 76. His 40-yard dash was 4.51. He had a 1.62 in the 10-yard split. Vertical jump at 37.5. Broad jump at 10 and 7 inches. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Please stay tuned for more content, and I will be posting a little bit more later on this week. Have a good one.